now.
All right, great to be here.
Speaking of tourism, what about this Cruising the Coast event? What a fantastic event it is to attract tourists and economic activity into our state, no doubt about it.
Oh, it is. You got you just ride down the beach and see all the RVs parked, the tents are up. Oh, they love it.
Man, it's incredible. And this brand new facility, what a jewel this is, this Gulfport Luxury RV Park right here.
I walked through it a few minutes ago, and they got the lazy river out back, and
incredible.
Just beautiful.
What an asset for the area. This no doubt will attract lots of tourists. These RVs are really something, man. They're pretty exquisite and decked out, tricked up, man. They're like a traveling hotel and living room and everything else put together. And a lot of folks like to travel by that mode, but they need to stay somewhere and when they're not on the road, and so they come to these RV parks. And this one is really special. We just had someone on earlier that was here for the grand opening and has an RV, travels around, has been to several. He said there's none to compare to this one. So quite the asset for Gulfport.
It's beautiful. It really is.
Incredible.
Let me tell you about the first time I came to Highway 90 on cruising.
Yeah.
I was in the Biloxi. I think Senator Delano had a spot. And we're talking, and all of a sudden we hear tires are squealing. So I figured I'd turn around and see a 20-something-year-old kid. It was a 55 Chevy. He had two guys in the front seat, probably mid-70s plus, and the lady was in the back seat. They was laughing. Of course, they don't encourage you squealing on Highway 90, but I turned around and I realized then what it was all about. Those guys loved it.
Really something. I mean, so what they're doing, that age group, if you will, that demographic, they're preserving this golden era of automobiles. American automobiles almost exclusively as well are featured.
Oh, it is. And again, I'm not a car guy, but I hear these people talking about what's on the engine. Whew, it's over my head, but I know they're beautiful cars.
Yeah.
I know they spend a lot of time fixing these cars up and very proud of. They ought to be. They're beautiful. You
know, the cars that you see here that are included in the cruising, they're like works of art. They're not the machines, the sort of functional sanitary machines we're accustomed to today, but there truly are stylish works of art.
And some of them you'll see that, again, the paints are beautiful. Some are the original colors. Others, the antique cars, they hadn't done anything to them.
Yeah.
They've been preserved. And
incredible.
So it's neat to see the different types and what people want to do with their antiques.
No doubt. Well, we're 90 days away from kicking off legislative session 2025. What are some of the priorities that you're going to be focused on and the House, the legislature in general?
Well, I'm the biggest cheerleader as far as on tourism.
Okay.
And let me say this: we've got some new committee members. I've been on tourism. This is my 13th year. My first year as chairman. We've got a lot of new committee members that's coming. That's on the committee, but we're doing a few trips around the state to educate our committee members what's available in the state. So we've got a trip. Some of them are coming down in a couple of weeks to the coast. Coast of Mississippi is going to show them from one bridge to the other, Pascagoula to Bay St. Louis, to let them know what we have on the coast. And then later in November, we're going to go to Natchez. Okay. So the committee members to see that. So that's, as far as coming this session, I think Speaker White's done a good job. His first year had a lot of stuff going on. So we just have to see. I know when you're talking to Senator Carter about taxes, and that's just going to be a topic going on. There's been several meetings this summer on different committees, special committees. So we just have to see how those reports come out and see which direction we might need to go in.
Do you care to share your preference on any sort of tax reform? How are you feeling about this?
Well, I'm a tightwad. I don't like to pay taxes like anybody else. But, I feel we need to kind of see what's going on in the next few years, true numbers in the next few years. I know the reducing, most of the people I talk to, the grocery tax is the big topic.
Yeah.
So I feel if we can work on that. I know Speaker White is wanting to drop it maybe to 3.5%, but at the same time, the general public, a lot of them not quite understands that if you do that, what that's going to do to the locals. So we've got to figure a way how to make the locals, the cities and counties whole when we do that. So
I've heard at least one member has suggested the idea of Commissioner Tyndall just showed up and
you're going to arrest me.
It looked like he was set to put the handcuffs on you there. Well, I've heard at least one member discuss a model where the state would no longer divert sales tax revenue it collects back to the municipalities, but rather would get out of the way and allow the municipalities just to levy taxes, sales taxes, however they see fit, not requiring state authorization options to do that. And they believe that that's a model that would help maybe cushion and offset reductions in income tax, likely would necessitate the municipalities increasing local sales taxes.
I would have to look and see more figures about that.
Okay.
I'm just not a fan.
Okay.
Hearing it up front, I'm not a fan.
Fair
of
enough.
It,
Fair enough. What about, it affects your region for sure, what about mobile sports betting? That's something that passed in the House, did not get any traction, didn't get out of committee over in the Senate last year. What do you think about that?
Well, I think there's a lot of different things going on with that. Hopefully, I think Chairman Casey has been working on that still and hoping to get with the Senate to come with some solutions how to make that work. Again, that's one thing that the general public, they want.
Yeah.
So I hope we can come with some solutions. What the main reason it died last year.
Yeah, and I really never saw any rationale, any justification for that offered. It just, I know it went to committee and it didn't make it out of committee in the Senate. So, but I got to believe that's going to come up again.
Yeah,
you think so?
I think so.
The something else, of course, that passed the House didn't get through in the Senate. The citizen ballot measure process that didn't make it. We're still without one. You're familiar with that whole story there. Is that going to be on the table again?
I'm sure that's going to come up, at least discussed. I'm not sure again if we're going to get the consensus on what we need on that. There's just some issues there that just they got to figure if they can get them worked out.
I got you. And then, of course, what I describe as the elephant in the room, the public employees retirement system is still facing some stiff financial headwinds. We're going to talk about that some more, you think, in the session?
It's going to have to. I mean, we'll look at the figures. I'm hoping that they will come with some new figures of the past year, but it looks like that's an issue that will be around for a few years.
Yeah, I don't think it's going anyway. I believe that's right. You said at the when we started the segment that you would describe yourself as a tightwad, and you want to make sure we're being responsible in our spending. Something that comes up a lot, Representative Haney, is consolidation of school districts. You're aware of that. We got more school districts than we have counties. We got lots of overlap. Seems like there's some opportunity there. Do you think we're going to talk about that in the legislature? Doesn't seem to be a subject that comes up.
I hadn't heard anything of that coming up. It is talked about, but it doesn't go too far.
I hear it a lot from the public. I see it on the text line all the time. There's this feeling. You saw the state auditor's report as well. It seems like it found in their research that an outsized amount of taxpayers' dollars goes to administration, not directly into the classroom, that there's some opportunities there to perhaps consolidate and leverage sort of single back office operations across larger schools, number of schools. Something may come up there.
Yeah, I think, again, some of the smaller districts could do some consolidating, but again, when you get local issues like that, there's a lot of local people fight it.
Very thorny, very sensitive,
yes.
No doubt about it. I understand. Representative Greg Haney has been our guest. Thanks for coming on, Representative Haney.
Appreciate it.
You bet. Folks, we're stepping aside. You got something else?
Yes, real quick.
Yeah.
The governor had his tourism conference last week. One of the announcements was Mississippi is going to have a float in the Tournament of Roses Parade.
Very cool.
On the front of the float is going to be Elvis. On the back is going to be B.B. King, and I think the governor, his family's going to be on it. I heard Chapel Hart, somebody, one of the other Mississippi.
That's fantastic.
Is going to be on there January 1st, so they're excited about that.
Appreciate you sharing it. We're coming right back with Sean Tyndall. Stay with us.